6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. Well, good morning, everyone. Good evening for me. Good morning for you. I haven't been asleep since yesterday morning, so this is going to be fun. But I'm really looking forward to doing this. The first proper weekend warm-up on a Saturday morning where we're trying to talk about Premier League fixtures. I've got Sean, Villa fan, ready to come on. Normally we have a few more guests, but obviously with it being the Saturday morning, sometimes it could be difficult to get people on. Sometimes it'll be easy to get people on. But we're going to be here to enjoy it. So welcome to the weekend warm-up. Thoughts on the fixtures and the upcoming games. Please share, subscribe. Also, hype the show to promote to your friends. Hit that hype button, guys, and hit the thumbs up button. And also consider joining and doing all that sort of stuff as well. Please adhere to standard community guidelines. Keep comments respectful. And, of course, enjoy the show. Nice to see you this morning, Jessica. At least the Isaac rat is not playing. Oh, it's going to be one of them ones, isn't it? Newcastle fans are sick of Isaac. I got an idea why Newcastle United say, Isaac, you are playing the Liverpool game. Make Isaac press after that game. There's a lot going on with Isaac, and we could spend a whole show talking about it, but we're not going to. There's the link if you would like to become a member. It's right at the top of the chat. It really helps us to keep the channel running for free, and obviously donate to charity, which we donated £55 to the hospice on the... What was it? It was 2 days ago. 2 days ago for Graham Bailey. Right. Anyway, enough of me babbling. Let's bring Sean in. How are we doing, Sean?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, mate. Are you all right?
Game week 2.
You're a little bit behind there.
Okay, I think 1 sec. Okay, bye.
Right, right. Let's dive into it. So last night, Chelsea, West Ham, there was potentially a shock on the cards after 6 minutes when Paqueta scored that unbelievable goal. But Chelsea ran out comfortable winners in the end, 5-1. João Pedro starring with 2 assists and a goal. What did you make of the performance?
That was a shellacking, wasn't it? I mean, I know West Ham got the early goal, but it's just not cat and mouse chance. I'd be concerned for them. They do not look. They do not look like they are ready to start this season just yet.
No, I mean, I spoke to a couple of West Ham fans, tried to get one of them on the show this morning, but he couldn't make it. It basically said, we've got no legs in midfield. We haven't bought enough players. We've got rid of a great goalkeeper to replace him with an average one. They look in big trouble, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much covered it there. That's the entire field. I don't see. I mean, I don't really see who they can get in. And if they're not really going to spend any money, and people have watched that sort of since David Moyes went, that's turned into a bit of a clown car. And I don't know. Like I said on the last show, sometimes you've got to be really careful what you wish for.
I mean, I feel sorry for Potter in a way, but you are right. Sacking David Moyes was probably the worst thing they could have done.
Yeah, which I think everybody else who wasn't a West Ham fan was fully aware of. But they seem to be hell bent on the fact that they didn't want him and they want play a different kind of football. And like, yeah, but a different kind of football also means losing. So, you know, I mean, last season, they were another one of them clubs where you go, when did they win games? I can't remember.
What a trophy. It's the last time I can remember West Ham winning. That's how bad it is.
I mean, you know, they won a European trophy under David Moyes. They finished in European placings. I don't know what exactly more they thought the next step was going to be. I mean, because the leap between the two going up to Champions League level, as we know, is gigantic.
Well, yeah, it is. You've got to spend a lot of money, don't you?
Well, yeah, and even then, as we also both know, it's no guarantee.
Yeah, absolutely not. Paqueta, do you think they'll keep a hold of him? I mean, he's a great player, I think.
They'll have a job. I think there's a lot of teams in the Premier League that I would think would want him.
I'll put my hand up straight away. He can come here.
Well, yeah, same at Villa as well. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't actually see many teams in the top 10 that wouldn't have him as part of their squad at the very least.
Last January, City were almost going to sign him until all this betting stuff came out.
Yeah. I mean, I hope that's not a sliding doors moment for the lad, because he's a quality player, and they do. Don't get me wrong, they do come across him at times at West Ham. You know, obviously we all remember Payet. I mean, he was a hell of a player, albeit
he was
completely batshit crazy, but it was a great player.
Canio.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he'd made a bit of a name up at Celtic already, and then he went to Wednesday, didn't he? And it was only West Ham who'd take him after he pushed Paul Alcock over.
God, yeah, that brings back memories. I can still see that in my head. That incident.
Yeah,
he went down in 4 stages, didn't he?
Yeah, it's absolutely pathetic.
Ooh, guys, wasn't impressed with Chelsea. That's the next little sort of section of it. I think, do you know, the weird thing is, Cole Palmer is obviously, you know, the be all to end all to a lot of Chelsea fans and a lot of English fans.
Yeah.
But he got injured in the warm-up, and Chelsea looked a hell of a lot better without him. Yeah,
I mean, I probably semi-agree with what Gaz has said there. I mean, it is always hard to tell when the other side is literally treading water, because it became target practice in the end. You know, and it's no disrespect to like Enzo Fernandez or Cancedo, but when they're knocking the goals in, it kind of makes you think that obviously the other side is not really doing it all over the pitch.
Yeah, agree with that. Definitely agree with that. What I mean, still scoring 5 goals though is still quite impressive away from home. Yeah. And the last goal they scored was in the 58th minute, so they still had a half an hour to really hammer it home if they really wanted to. So I mean, it's an impressive victory though, isn't it?
It is. I mean, Chelsea's one of my tips to watch this season, because I do think when on form, they are very, very hard to beat.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They've got skill, tough. They're hard to play against. They now have got a season under their belt with their manager, which always helps. A lot of the players are now his, so you know they're my one to watch this season. Like if they get it right for the first half of the season, they could challenge, I think.
Players are his. You just never know with Chelsea, do you? They're just like buying wingers and then throwing them into a team, don't they?
Well, that's why this just don't really make any sense.
Yeah.
They don't need.
Who else did they have from Man United there? Sancho as well, didn't they?
He was on loan. I mean, he's still a United player. I mean, I don't know what. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, he's another one who I kind of feel sorry for him, but obviously he has. I mean, he's rubbed 2 managers up the wrong way at United.
Yes.
I don't know why he just didn't go back to Germany. He suited the way they played. He obviously liked it out there, but ever since he's signed for United, he doesn't look the same player. I mean, he was overshadowed a bit when he got brought in was the same time that Ronaldo then got brought in.
Yeah.
Sancho was supposed to be this marquee signing, and Ronaldo kind of stole his thunder.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that bothers a player like that. Maybe it does. We don't obviously know the guy personally, but if his ego took a bash, then maybe his attitude did as well. I mean, it takes a lot for a manager to basically tell you you'll go and train in the reserves or on your own. So that tells you that there is an attitude problem there. But
his ego makes him sound like he still thinks he's going to get 300 grand a week. He's going to get only big clubs are going to come in for him, and nobody is.
But this is the problem, isn't it? Is that when that one big signing seems great, but once it's destroyed your wage ethic, you then only have a certain amount of clubs that can or will sign you. Yeah. I mean, I think that's ultimately why really Gareth Bale retired when he did, because he still had a few years in him, but nobody's going to pay his wages. It's not like Ronaldo, who, all right, he's still doing it in the Saudi Arabian league, big whoop, but it's a thing of, he's also a clothes horse. He sells merch. He's always do that. Same as Messi, there's certain names that do that. Gareth Bale was never really that attractive in that sort of area. But when you're looking at Sancho, his wage aspirations, if he thinks he's going to get what he was getting before, it's down to honesty, isn't it? Does the player want to play on that?
Yeah.
Because ultimately, that's why I've got a lot of respect for Cole Palmer. He wasn't picked at Man City. He could have stayed. I think they would have kept him if he was prepared to sit on the bench, but he wanted to play football. So, fair play.
Absolutely. And he got the chance under Chelsea and he flourished. But I just think it's funny that he's injured in the warm-up, gets put on the bench, and the team goes out and scores 5 goals without him, because they struggled last week, didn't they, against Palace to even score a goal. So
I think at some point we've all struggled against Palace to score a goal. So.
Well, I had 2-0 Chelsea for the game last night, so I give myself a little tick. Obviously didn't get the correct score, but when a team wins 5-1, there's not many teams predicting 5-1, is there?
I missed out by 1 goal.
Did you? You're 4-1.
4-1, yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. They scored the 5th. I was like, well, that's bollocks, that.
Brilliant. So move on to the early kickoff. And 2.5 just under 2.5 hours time. The big bogey team for Man City, Spurs, visiting the Etihad. Man City have won just 4 of the last 12 Premier League games against Spurs, drawn 2 and losing 6 of them. It's a very, and everyone says, you can't look at stats and you can't look at previous games, and it's all on the day and all that sort of stuff. But this happens a lot. There are teams that are bogey teams, even for Man City, like Spurs and Crystal Palace. They seem to be a bogey team for City as well.
It's been going on for time immemorial. I mean, I can go back to when I started watching football, and I know whose Villa's bogey team was through the 90s, and then I know who it was through the 2000s. I mean, Southampton used to be ours. We just could not beat them. That
was ours as well, at the Dell.
It used to be at Villa Park for us as well. It would be 0-0, stink up the house sort of game, and then Matt Letizia would score from about 400 miles away. But that'd be it. But it was, teams have bogey teams. I think, a bit like the old boxing terminology, styles make fights. And Tottenham, I'm not sure about this season. But in the past, the way Tottenham play, there is a certain way that Tottenham play, and it does and has caused City problems. Don't know about this time, because Thomas Frank seems to have changed a few things, but they do play with sort of flying wing backs. And City do notoriously struggle against flying wing backs and sort of quite skillful what you would have used to have called inside right, inside lefts. But
Yeah.
if Richarlison has a good day, it could be an issue for him. But Sam Rodri's back, so
is he back starting or is he back on the bench?
Not sure, but I mean, if he
Maybe.
starts, that makes a hell of a lot of difference.
Does. Martin's in the chat there, obviously going to the Etihad today, couldn't make it, but he will be on other shows because, let's face it, a lot of our clubs are going to be playing on Sunday and Monday because of European football, so there'll be a lot more of us in the future on this show. I can promise you that. A lot more different voices. This is interesting as well. 21 goals produced in the last 4 games between the two clubs, so it's very rarely a 0-0. 9 for City, 12 for Spurs. The side to score 2+ goals in 5 consecutive top flight away games against Man City was Sunderland in 1980 to 2000 and in 2000. That's a rare stat for the Mackhams. Pep Guardiola lost 9 games against Tottenham Hotspur in his managerial career, only losing more against Liverpool 10. Spurs are also one of 3 teams he's faced 10 or more times and won fewer than half his games against, 11 to 23. Just showing bogey team in it. I mean, the other team is Real Madrid, so you can kind of let them off with that one. But it was Real Madrid, Barcelona. But when you're tossing up Man City, Spurs, it's not the same, is it? It doesn't have that same feel.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that you said about the amount of goals in this fixture. I mean, all right, neither side is exactly producing AC Milan style back 4 defence performances, but that is a lot of goals, isn't it? It's they are very top heavy both sides. But I mean, hopefully we see the same today.
Yeah, putting your prediction head on then, what do you think the score's going to be?
3-2 City.
Ooh, I've gone 3-1 City.
Yeah.
I've got City to finally break the hoodoo. I thought they looked very good against. I know it was only against Wolves. No disrespect to Wolves, but no.
Professional day, wasn't it?
Yeah, the professional job done. They went top of the league doing that. I just fancy them to have too much for Spurs. So a 3-1 victory and a 3-2 victory for you. Right. This could be the battle of the bottom, potentially, the next game. Bournemouth-Wolves. But Bournemouth looked very, very good against Liverpool, didn't they? I thought they were very, very unlucky not to get anything out of Anfield.
Yeah, they did, but Liverpool can make you look like that sometimes. If they're not quite at it, where they play the pressing game, if a team catches you on your high line, which Bournemouth did twice, then you can look all right against them. Though that said, I mean, I don't know. It felt like an anomaly to me. I think they could have a couple of issues. I think Wolves could have a few issues. I mean, it sounds like a bit of a flea on the dog of a game, but it's don't know. Who's at home?
Bournemouth. So I would Bournemouth of last season, I think, comfortably wins this game. The problem they've got is they've lost quite a few players, and they're still in good hands. They're still playing good football. Semenyo looked fantastic. I mean, that goal when he ran it from the Liverpool box, from his own box all the way to the box to box, was incredible.
I mean, yeah, I'd have to fancy Bournemouth on that one. I mean, Wolves don't look like they've got a lot to offer, to be honest. But then they're another one of them teams that just they get by.
Yeah.
It's whenever you play them, it's a difficult game.
Yeah,
but somehow they don't seem like a good side. It's a very strange one.
They've only met 14 times in the Premier League, so Bournemouth have won 6, Wolves have won 5, they've drawn 3, so it's a very split down the middle. Previous fixtures 1-1, 1-0 to Wolves away from home, and then a 4-2 thumping to Bournemouth away from home as well. Bournemouth have won 3 of the last 5 Premier League games against Wolves. Only lost 2 of them. Wolves have never lost in 5 Premier League away games against Bournemouth. 1-3, drawn 2. Maybe Wolves are Bournemouth's bogey team.
Yeah.
That's a weird. I would not have expected that stat to Wolves to have so much.
No.
Bournemouth lost their first Premier League home game in each of the first 3 seasons in the competition between 2015, 16, 17, and 18. But they haven't lost their opening home game in any of the last 5 top flight seasons. So they've won 2, drawn 3.
They can't make a noise down there.
They can. I wondered if Clivert's back as well, because he's a big player for them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I could see Bournemouth taking it.
Well, I've gone 2-1. What about yourself?
I got 1-0.
Ooh.
1-0
I
to
mean,
Joe.
do you have any hope for Wolves this season?
My head says possibly, my heart says absolutely not. I'm a bit biased on that one, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I don't know. They just, I think they'll be lucky that there'll be 3 teams worse than them.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that, to be fair. I mean, there's a chance they could be losing Strand Larson if we really are serious about signing them as well. So they lose him, I think they lose all hope, don't they?
It'd be hard to see where it's going to come from. Yeah, it's, you can only lose so many players. It's, you know, over time they've produced some really good players who have gone on and done great things, but eventually your time's going to run out if your policy is to sell. You know, that's always been a concern at clubs like Crystal Palace, who are bringing great crops of players, but there's only so many players you can bring in before you run out.
I agree with that. Right, your fixture, Brentford against Aston Villa. Brentford took a hammering against Forest 3-1 in the opening fixture, but obviously the big miss for Brentford was Wissa being on strike, a bit like Isak's doing at Newcastle. But he could be back for this game. He's been back in training.
He's been in training.
That's bad news for you. Bad news for Newcastle as well, of course. The head-to-head...
Maybe. I don't know that it is. I think if Wissa was wanting to make himself appealing to Newcastle, acting like Isak is probably not going to do that.
True.
And also, I mean, we won't get onto that too much. I mean, you know my thoughts on that. I think all the cards lie with the club. It's World Cup year. If he comes back, scores a goal in the Champions League, scores a goal in the derby, everyone's going to forget about it. It's, at the end of the day, this guy's not born in Newcastle. He's Swedish. You know, it's I think sometimes the way he's behaved is not great. It is modern football. Foreign footballers generally feel that this is not seen as a bad thing to do. It's quite common on the continent, and we also don't know what the club has said to the player. So there's only so much you can tell. And like I said, football fans, we're all fickle. If someone comes back to us for goals, we don't care. We'll take it from anywhere. But this particular fixture against Brentford, we generally have done all right. They have always
actually very well. 1-0 last game away from home, 3-1 at home, and then there was a 3-3 in there in April.
Yeah, so we obviously when we signed Ollie Watkins, he was a Brentford player, and when we signed him, we had Dean Smith, who was the old Brentford manager. So there was always a kind of a link there, which is now sort of frayed and gone away. Yeah. For us, it might not have done for them. I don't know, but it's it's the kind of team that if we've got aspirations of top 5 this year, that we need to do the professional job against. Yeah. You're not always going to look brilliant against these teams. I mean, we've got Constance obviously suspended, as you know, after his straight red last week against Newcastle. But I don't know. We do have depth in defence. I would like to think that we would be all right in this game. Brentford kind of had their club stripped a bit. So I think they're another one that, unless they've got a few cards up their sleeve, they could struggle a little bit.
What did you make of your performance in the first game? Because I wasn't expecting us Newcastle to control the ball as much as we did.
I was surprised. I thought we were going to push forward a bit. You know what? I thought your front line did really well. I thought that they reacted. So normally with your strikers, it's reactionary to the striker, whereas they reacted to the way Villa were playing, and I think that's how they managed to be able to keep hold of the ball so much. Gordon's very fast. You know, if you play him through a channel, you're going to give any defender a problem.
Yeah,
as he did. You know, Konsa probably didn't have much choice. He could have left him. Maybe another defender would have got. I don't know, but Gordon looked away from him already, and as soon as he put his hands on him, the ref ain't got no choice really. No. It's
last man.
Oh, it looked like the absolute quintessential last man.
Yeah,
taken down. But I don't know. I was a bit surprised that at home we weren't more forward pushing.
I agree with that. I was very surprised, but you were very loose with your passing, which obviously doesn't help because if you can't keep the ball, you can't push as much as you want to.
Which is not like us.
No, it's not. It was very surprising. But the good news for you, Brentford are winless in the last 6 league games against Villa, drawn 2, lost 4, and haven't kept a clean sheet in any of their 8 Premier League meetings against Villa. So that's obviously it's a bang 0-0 this now.
Yeah, that's a shoe for that now, isn't it?
Yeah. Brentford have lost their first home top flight match in any of their 9 seasons as this level of English football, 1-7, drawn 2, scoring at least 2 goals in every match. That's going to be interesting because it feels. I mean, what have you gone for, Matt? Because I struggled with this game.
I've gone for 2-1 Villa.
Were you Villa heart or were you Villa head?
Both, I think. I think they could possibly take a 1-0 lead. Or peg us back, and then I think we might just have a bit too much from in the second half.
Don't get angry.
Right.
1-1.
Yeah, no, I could see that as well, though.
Yeah, I went 1-1. I just think Brentford at home, they've always been a fortress at their ground. I think with Wissa back in training, potentially on the bench, as a threat. I wasn't impressed with you last week, but I know there's more to come from you as well, though, because I know that was an off day. It's just whether you piece it all together quick enough for this game.
If Wissa plays, I think it pushes up a bit of squad morale. So I could see that being obviously a big positive for them.
It could go either way, this one, though. I know that sounds like the big cliche Michael Owen kind of saying.
Yeah.
But it could. I mean, like you said, either team could nick it 2-1 potentially. I don't see it being a clear-cut game where it's, one team goes out of sight. And now I've said that, you'll probably win 4-0.
I mean, it's one of them where we've all got teams like this where in terms of league position, you're not near each other, but when you meet each other, it's always close.
Yeah,
that is the nature of the Premier League. It's like every team can beat any other team.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, if you look at Brentford's home form last season, at one point they were like top of the Premier League just on home form, and then the away form was second bottom of the league. They were so polar opposite. They didn't, and they rely on their home form to keep them in the league. So if they are going to stay,
since they come up, it's been what's kept them in the league most years.
It's a proper fortress. I mean, to be top of that Premier League at home, especially when the likes of Arsenal are normally very good at home, Liverpool very good at home.
I mean, it's one of them as well where they are kind of a blueprint of how you stay up.
Yeah.
It's your home form has to be good, because if it's not,
Yeah.
you will struggle.
That's it. You win enough games at home and you pick up a few points away from home. They're bonus points, aren't they? And,
Exactly.
and eventually you end up accruing enough to stay in the league. So, yeah, I've gone 1-1 today. I just think but it could go either way. It really could. Right. Our enemy, well, not yours, but mine. Burnley, Sunderland, the two promoted teams. Two very polar opposite beginnings to the Premier League campaign. Obviously, Burnley getting outplayed at Leeds, another team that was promoted. That was a huge win for Leeds. No, Leeds played Everton. Sorry, who did Burnley play? They got trounced, didn't they?
Got hammered by Tottenham, didn't they?
Yeah, Tottenham. That's it, 3-0. I mean, again, Spurs at home are a bit of a strange team, but they did well. But Burnley wasn't impressed. Sunderland, have to say, ran out comfortable winners against West Ham. But looking at last night's performance,
Yeah,
is that really as good as what it looked?
I don't.
Because I mean, yeah,
I don't think so. Don't get me wrong, you still got to beat them, and it's
Yeah.
your first game back up, and you're against a side that's been in the league for quite some time. But it's not. It's not as big an anomaly as it seems. I think it's Sunderland, Burnley. Again, it's a tricky one. I mean, Burnley did look dross, but this is their first home game. They'll know that they have to bring it, because if they don't, I know it's just 2 games, but if you get a shoe in by another side who's come up with you, that's a big danger sign.
Oh yeah, definitely, and especially if Sunderland win this one and get 6 points, and they're 6 points clear of Burnley already. That says a lot. You're not going to like this though. It's not going to be a goal fest according to the previous fixtures. 0-0, 1-0, 0-0. Yeah. Burnley are unbeaten in their 3 Premier League home games against Sunderland. 1-2, drawn 1. They actually beat them 4-1 in December 2016. Obviously, that was 9 years ago, so it's very hard to pull on that, isn't it? But I'm sure Burnley beat them when they were in the Championship. I think there was goals in the game as well. Sunderland kept. Yeah.
I thought they. Didn't they beat them under Company?
Possibly.
Yeah, I know that, because Sunderland, I think, were competing to get in the playoffs that year. Burnley, obviously, I think they stormed the league, didn't they? But
Yeah,
I mean,
they did.
I think Burnley look a bit toothless. I think Sunderland, at the very least, can score goals.
Yeah.
It's, I think they'll concede a hatful, but I don't think that'll be in this game.
This is interesting. Sunderland have kept a clean sheet in 6 of their last 8 league games against Burnley, including each of the last 3 in a row. However, they've conceded exactly 4 goals in both of the other 2 games in the run. So they either get hammered or it's 0-0.
Should be a dream fixture for them, really. Having won the first game where they wouldn't have been sure, knowing that they've got to get off to a run, this is a dream second fixture to have. All right, it's away from home, but as you say, you get 6 points on the board against people that you think you possibly could be competing with to stay in the league. It's a big deal. It's a big deal, because you look around the league and you go, well, where are they going to pick up points? It's a long season when it's like that.
Burnley have already conceded 19% of the league goals they conceded in the entirety of 2024-25.
Yeah, I mean, it's that gap between the 2 leagues is just
it's huge, isn't it? It's massive. What have you made of Sunderland's transfer window?
We did talk about it, didn't we? Who they brought in?
They brought in 13 new players. Gran Xhaka obviously being the big one, who's been made club captain. And they brought in, I can't remember his name, and Adai or someone like that, who apparently Leeds were after and looks very good. But they brought in 13 players, and sometimes you think that's not really a good idea. It takes a while for everyone to settle, but 6 of them apparently are going to the AFCON.
Right. Okay. I mean, that obviously makes difference because,
Mm,
I mean, what you're missing those players for like a month.
yeah,
And then on top of that, that's if they don't get injured.
yeah,
I mean, plus, I mean, Granit Xhaka is that's a smart move. Bringing in someone who's kind of been there, done it,
yeah.
knows this league is a really important like voice in the changing room and on the training ground. They could have the right mixture there. They could, but like I said, it's all going to depend on their first 10 games.
Yeah.
Because football's all about momentum.
Yes.
If you don't have momentum, you're screwed.
Yeah. I mean, Granit Xhaka is an excellent signing for them. They've got a good mix, to be fair. Young, old heads, Premier League proven. Xhaka, of course. I was a bit surprised at how well. I mean, I know West Ham are showing they're in a lot of bother, but like you said, you've still got to beat what's in front of you, and to put them away 3-0 was actually quite impressive.
Yeah.
I hate talking about Sunderland in a good way. I really do. It makes me feel sick doing it.
Quite a personal buzz.
Yeah, I know. Burnley. I mean, I'm worried for Burnley.
I don't see anything positive there.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
Burnley.
but I can't see where they're going to get points.
Yeah. Right, what have you gone with score wise?
I think it's going to be 3-1 Sunderland.
Ooh, wow. See, I'm not that positive about Sunderland at all. And I've gone 1-1 again. I think it's one of those games where it could be quite cagey with them being two promoted sides, not wanting to give each anything away. It's who's brave enough to try and win the game on the day, really, isn't it? And you would think Burnley being at home and want to have that impetus to do it. But the way Sunderland played against West Ham, they could be the team that really take it to Burnley today and potentially take 3 points. But obviously, I do not want that to happen.
No, I think Burnley could start off brightly. I think it could be 1-0 at half time, and if Sunderland get a second goal, I just think Burnley will capitulate.
Obviously, got to feel sorry for Trafford, haven't you? Going to Man City, and then apparently Donnarumma could be coming in.
Yeah, it's not great timing, is it?
Poor lad.
But then I don't know. I don't see City wanting Donnarumma.
Great shot.
If they've got Edison,
apparently he's off though.
So they say, but it's
got to happen, hasn't it? There's not long left.
Yeah, if he has to leave for Donnarumma to come in, there's no other. I don't think there's any other way that works. Because otherwise, yeah, you are just upsetting the player you've just brought in, which seems senseless. Plus, Donnarumma, he's a good goalkeeper. He is a good goalkeeper, but I don't know. I don't think he's on the same level as Edison or Allison, or I could see him going.
Not for his all-round game, but his shot stopper is definitely up there. I mean, he got them to the final of the Champions League, didn't he, in that game against Liverpool?
Yeah, he's a great shot stopper, but I just think to play the game in this country, you need to have a more all-round game if you're going to be playing in one of the top 4 teams.
Yeah, we're very different for Man City to see them humping the ball long, but they've got the perfect target man, haven't they?
Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of the pitch.
There's more than one way to skin a cat, isn't there?
There is.
Right, so I've gone 1-1, you've gone 3-1. So we'll move on to the afternoon kickoff today. Arsenal v Leeds, another newly promoted side who got off to the perfect start at Ellen Road against Everton.
They made hard work of it in the end.
This is where I think Leeds are going to struggle. I think they'll play pretty football. They'll play nice, attractive football. But when they get into the box, they do not have that. Yeah, they do not have that striker, do they?
I think they'll get battered today. I think they'll get absolutely battered.
If they try and play open and attacking football at the Emirates, then yes. If they change their tactics up a little bit and, try to be a bit more defensive and hit them on the break, you know what Arsenal are like? They do concede the counter-attacking goals at the Emirates, because that's the only way really like teams normally get a chance to score against them, because they control the ball so well, don't they?
Yeah, I mean they do, but even if Leeds went 1-0 up or equalised, I think Arsenal just tear them apart. If they try to play too offensively against Arsenal, they will get ripped to pieces. Like with Saka and probably Martinelli down the other side, I think there's just too much pace there for you to be giving the ball away. I just don't think they're going to have much choice in the matter. It's Arsenal's first home game of the season. They're going to want to wash the taste of that first game of the season against United out of their mouth, because I don't think anybody thought they
didn't pull up trees, did they?
No, they didn't. But then, to be fair, United did a lot better than what people thought they were going to do.
I agree.
So, I mean, that's a bit 50-50 on that one. But I think they'll want to start with their home game. And Leeds just seem like a team, having watched them against Everton on Monday, they seem like a team that's absolutely ripe for a complete stripping at Arsenal.
I love it. What have you gone for?
5-0 Arsenal.
Wow. You can see it though, can't you? I mean, Arsenal are very good at it, but they are with a few injuries. I mean, Havertz is injured again. Yeah. What did he make of Gyökeres though in his first game? Because did he get the right service? I don't think he did.
I wasn't very impressed, but I'm not gonna hang my hat on it. It's like we say, yeah, United did better than what we thought. I thought De Ligt looked really good. I thought he actually was a big part of keeping that Gyökeres quiet. I think he'll be. I think we all know he's going to be a decent striker. I think he will score goals. I think he'll start today.
What score are you going with? 4-5-0, he said, wasn't it?
I wouldn't be surprised if he comes away with a hat trick.
Really?
Yeah, I think there's going to be
chances galore.
Yeah, it's an absolute prime opportunity for Arsenal to really, really start, lay a marker down.
Goals score one more. No. I'm going to look to see if there's anything for Leeds to give themselves hope. 111 games played against each other. Arsenal have won 47, Leeds have won 38, drawn 26. Last few meetings don't help Leeds. 4-1, 1-0 to Arsenal away, and 2-1 at home. Arsenal are beaten in the last 14 meetings with Leeds in all competitions. Won 12, drawn 2. So it's not looking good for Leeds, is it?
No, I just think, they got 3 points on the first day. That's a big 3 points. I just think this will be kind of a free hit.
Yeah.
I don't think they would have ever gone there with full 100% aspiration. They would have written these points off at the start of the season.
There's never such thing called a free hit these days, because if you get battered, your goal difference is going to get battered, isn't it?
Oh, I know. It's even worse than the goal difference is actually, as we were talking about earlier, the momentum of football. Yeah. Say you went and shipped 7, right? It's less about you shipping 7 and more about what it's done to your centre backs. Yeah. It's or your goalkeeper if he drops a couple. Then it's always worth defending right to the very end.
Yeah. There's a couple of good stats here. Arsenal, this is a great one. Arsenal are unbeaten in the last 42 Premier League home games against promoted sides. Won 37, drawn 5. Have a guess who beat them?
What, promoted side?
Yeah.
Is it us?
Nope.
Newcastle?
These guys. We beat them 1-0 in November 2010.
2010.
Yeah.
Andy
I
Carroll.
believe Andy Carroll's header, yeah, with Chris Hughton was in charge. So
That's
there you
right. Oh, and an ex-Tottenham player in charge as well. They would have loved that.
Yeah. Leeds have lost 23 of the last 30 away league matches in London in general, won 4, drawn 3.
Really?
Yeah. While in the Premier League, they've lost their last 7 in a row since a 2-1 win at Brentford on the final day in 2021-22. So they don't travel to London very well, do they? It's just that they're the kind of Newcastle stats we used to have before Bobby Robson changed it all. We used to travel terribly to London. I've gone 3-0 to Arsenal, to be fair. I've been a little bit fairer and a 5-0 hammering. But it could be anything today, couldn't it? Especially if Leeds do attack. And if they do manage to get 1 or 2, you just never know, do you?
No, I mean,
can't see it.
No, I can't see it. I can't. Something would have to go. It would have to be one of them like balmy first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I just can't see that happening.
Yeah, I agree.
Arteta runs pretty tight.
Yes, he does. Right, on to Sunday's fixtures. Palace, Forest. Palace obviously losing Ezra to. We just talked about Arsenal. Does Eze make his debut? Has he been signed in time? I don't know if he has.
Don't think he has.
That'd be interesting.
Oh, that's my older brother's a Tottenham fan, and that's we've had a chat about that this week.
But it looked like he was all going to go to Tottenham, and he looked all wrapped up, and then suddenly Arsenal went, nah.
There's two schools of thought on this. Either Tottenham sat on their hands and didn't, which they do, and they're well known for, and they didn't meet the asking price, or the other side of it is that Tottenham were used to barter the price to get it higher, which again is not unheard of. But I think it's the first one. I think Tottenham dicked around with that transfer too much. They let it go too long and asked them to come in and go, no, we'll give you the money and we'll pay you more money. So
it's just like us in Trafford. Took too long. City decided they wanted a goalkeeper, so they took him off us.
It is a strange one because there is a lot of competition in that position. Whereas Tottenham, I think he would have just walked into the side.
Yeah.
But
I think Arsenal really need that person who can cut through the middle of the pitch, though. I don't think they really have a player like that in the middle. Saka, brilliant. Martinelli, brilliant. They'll do everything down the wings. But they've always been missing that player in the middle, like a lot of teams have, where they can break the lines. I mean, Odegaard's an absolute fantastic football player, but he's not quick at getting round players. He's more of a technician, isn't he? With his feet, he'll find a pass. Where Eze will use his pace as well and power to get into great positions. So,
I'm trying to think where he fits because generally, I mean, what you're gonna have Declan Rice playing with Odegaard in the centre, and he's just in front of them behind Gyökeres.
I believe so. Yeah, that's how I would work it.
That's a very, very forward-thinking line. I guess
Arsenal always are when they're at home, though, aren't they? Which maybe when they go away from home, they might change things up a little bit, use him as an impact player potentially.
Well, they brought in Norgard, didn't they, from Brentford, and he's definitely the sort of player that you bring in that situation. He's he's almost he's a double for Declan Rice.
Yeah. I agree.
So I mean they are strengthening in the correct positions, and you can see that Eze also can play as a central striker if he needs to, and he can also play on the right. It's a good signing for Arsenal. Really good signing.
And again, you've got to feel sorry for Palace, haven't you? Because they seem to be getting cherry picked at the moment, don't they? I expected Eze to go last summer when Olise went.
Yes, I mean Elise's gone over to Bayern. He's done all right.
He's doing well there.
But this is Palace's business model. They they make bones about that fact. This is how they stay alive.
Yeah. Running out of time with the Gay situation, though, aren't they? He's only got a year left on his contract. There's rumours that Liverpool are just saying, run it down, we'll sign you and give you a big contract.
Yeah, it's naughty if they are doing that, but I can see why.
Well, you can see why, can't you? Palace have never won 10 previous Premier League meetings with Nottingham Forest, drawn 6, lost 4. It's both the most they've ever faced a side without winning and the most Forest have faced a side without losing in the competition. But
let's go back to Clough.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, they've played 49 times. Forest have won 21. Palace have won 11 and they've drawn 17.
Yeah.
So I don't see a goal fest.
Forest, interesting side.
They are. They kept Morgan Gibbs-White.
After watching them last weekend, I had to take back a lot of what I said about Forest, because I was actually like, oh, mate, I don't think Forest is going to do it again this year. I don't think they got it there. But watching, no, that's a well-oiled side. Chris Wood just does not stop scoring goals.
No, he doesn't. He does well. I mean, what do you make of the manager situation though with the owner? He's actually come out and publicly said it's not in a good place. That's very rare for a manager to say something like that.
This is where it could go wrong.
Yeah.
You know, this is the potential self-destruct button. Yeah. Everything for the life of it looks on the field as if, hey, you know, they could actually compete for top 7 this season, possibly given with how they played last year. They give everyone a problem. They're very good at going away from home and beating large sides. They've got European football for the first time in ages. You know, it's all there to be done. And this is just bananas. I mean, this guy who's in charge there, is it Marinakis?
Yeah, Marinakis, yeah.
He needs to stay out of it. It's not. You've got to let football people run the football side. You run the business side, and if it's never worked when one gets too involved in the other.
Yeah, agree with that. Nottingham Forest are unbeaten in the last 8 away league games against Crystal Palace. 1-3, drawn 5. Since a 1-0 loss in the second tier in December 2003. Each of their last 4 visits to Sellers Park have finished level. So I'm not expecting a goal fest. And I've actually, before even looking at these stats and that, I actually had the same score line as what it's happened twice in the last 3 meetings. 1-1, 1-1, and 1-0 to Forest. And I've actually gone 1-1.
I'm going to go 2-2. Because I can see... I think a couple of goals each for Mateta and Chris Wood.
Ooh, put your neck on the line there.
I think they're very similar. And they're very similar in a lot of ways. It's Selhurst is another one of these places where it don't look big, but my God, it makes a noise. And also the fans are right on you. Like the pitch is really close. And I just think Forest are the better side. And I think that even that out with it being away from home and at Selhurst, I think 2-2. Yeah, I think that could be about right.
Right. Interesting fixture for the Sunday afternoon. Well, Sunday 2:00 again. Brighton. Everton in their new ground, the Hill Dickinson Stadium. But they were shocking the other night.
Yeah, it's bad, wasn't it?
Very bad. But Brighton again. Fulham are their bogey team. Can't beat them in the league. 1-1 draw, which cost my bet. Thanks, Brighton. 96-minute equaliser.
Coupon buster.
It was. I spoke to Mike, who I tried to get on the show, but his son's doing some goalkeeping coaching today. And I said, Mike, what's going on with you guys at the minute? He was just like, never back us against Fulham. We never beat them. Yeah. I was like, thanks for telling me now after the Lord Mayor's show and the horses bolted. Could have told me that before I placed my bet. But there we go. It's like, thanks, mate. Everton won 1-0 at Brighton in January, last win in consecutive Premier League games against the Seagulls in January, October 2020. having lost each of their first 4 Premier League away games against Everton. Brighton are now unbeaten in the last 4 visits, winning 3, drawn 1. Now, Brighton have obviously, again, that model of how they run their business, losing João Pedro, massive loss for them. Still keeping a hold of Danny Welbeck, though. They've let Ferguson go out on loan, who's not doing much at all. He's not really getting a game at West Ham, is he? Is he still at West Ham? He did go to West Ham, didn't he?
Yeah, it's very strange because he is a quality player.
Well, he burst onto the scene, didn't he? And then he got that bad injury, and then he's never looked the same since. I think so.
Yeah, I suppose that age, that can be a difficult one to come from.
Yeah.
But he's a quality player, brilliant player.
He tore us apart. He scored a hat-trick against Worth. And that was when we were in trying to qualify for the Champions League, I think. We got absolutely hammered 4-1 at their place. Yeah. And he scored a hat-trick that day. But Brighton, Everton, so Brighton getting beat 1-0 at home, but then beat Everton 3-0 away from home. And there's a 1-1 draw thrown in there in the last 3 games. I mean, David Moyes has got a massive job on his hand, hasn't he? Jack Grealish, a great loan signing. Didn't start last week. Came on with not long left in the game. And I mean, the game was already finished, really. Do you have any hope for Everton, or do you think they're going to be lounging in that bottom 5 again?
I think it's all going to, a lot like a promoted team, it's all going to depend on what they can make of this home form. Yeah. Going into a new ground is, as we've seen from other clubs, can be difficult.
Well, great example, Southampton, isn't it?
Southampton, even Arsenal, when they first in the Emirates, West Ham at the Taxpayer Stadium. You've got to get together it's a whole new atmosphere. Goodison Park was another one of them. It's a lovely old ground where it's just really loud when they get going. So it's going to be interesting, but the novelty could push them on. If I think they got to make the most of this Jack Grealish loan. They need to turn it into a talisman style player. And you throw everything behind him. It may mean that they'll have to turn a blind eye to a few things that he does. But as we both know, we both know if you're doing it on the pitch, it don't matter.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely true.
I've got a soft spot for Everton. I hope they do well. I don't want to see them go down. I think there's enough there that they could put something together this year. David Moyes is a man. He's a good manager.
He's a good manager.
I think he's.
He had high aspirations, didn't he, for this season? He was like, "Oh, we want to be challenging at the top end of the table for Europe." And I mean, we're talking 6 and above. There's no chance that's happening, is there?
I personally don't think so, but I don't know, I've been surprised by these things before. I just think new ground could be a make or break thing, and I don't want it. I don't know. It's tough to call that one. They need to get it in gear. They need to stop the nonsense of the last few years of I've seen them get battered in games where they just shouldn't get battered. It's sometimes gone a bit stale there. I think Moyes just needs to pull them through this season. Just pull them through this season, safe enough that there's no relegation battle. And then I think the future would look a bit brighter. Another relegation battle, they'll probably get rid of him. Because fans will start complaining. But again,
I think the fans are very. This is very hard to say for people in Liverpool, but very intelligent football fans, Everton fans. Some of them are arseholes. Don't get me wrong when you go on Twitter, but I think if you get to the hardcore Everton fans, they realise the situation the club's in. they don't have a lot of money to spend. David Moyes has always been a magician when it comes to finding the best out of, like Seamus Coleman. Look what he did with him for so long. I think sacking him again would be like, like what's happening at West Ham, for example. I think it all depends on how he does. As long as they don't go down, and they may be round about that 14th, 13th, 12th sort of area, I think they'll be like, right now we need to then start to build and build and build.
Yeah.
But I think to claim that they were going to be challenging for Europe, I think that was a bit of a I think.
I guess it's wishful thinking, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because Everton are one of them sides, aren't they? That on the day they can pretty much give anyone a game.
Yeah.
But then I don't know. It's that home form. You need to keep home form up, otherwise, that's when your fans start getting pissy.
Yeah.
Is if they're watching you getting a shellacking at home, they don't take kindly to that.
Yeah, and going to Goodison, I used to always think, oh, it's going to be a tough day today. So, thanks, Jag. What scoreline you gone with?
I'm going to go with 2-1 Everton.
Ooh. I've got 0-0. I've got a lot of draws. I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 4 draws so far. And there's only 2 more games to go.
That would be one hell of a game.
I put it on Twitter and someone, I'm putting a $5 on that. I went, just please don't. Please don't do that because you'll just lose. Right, 2 more games to do, and we're gone for the Super Sunday kickoff. Fulham, Man United. This is always a tough game to predict because Fulham are a strange team. A great point, like I mentioned, away to Brighton in the 96th minute, getting an equaliser. They've kept a hold of Muniz at the moment. They've still got some excellent players in midfield who love to play. They've kept a hold of their left back, Robinson, who I think is a fantastic left back. But Man United, on the other hand, all the money they spent, £200 million of strikers, and they couldn't break the door down against Arsenal. I know Šeško only played 20 minutes, but Kinder Bueno was on for long enough. And Cunha, I think he looked the best out of everyone.
I thought there's really...
There was positive signs of Man United going forward, wasn't there?
With Cunha and Burmo, I think there's something
Kinder
there.
Bueno. Kinder Bueno, let's get his name right at the moment. He's overweight. It's Kinder Bueno.
But there's something there with them too, I think. Yes. I think there's definitely something there. I think that they could do well. That Šeško, don't know, not sure. I mean, they kept talking
20 minutes. It's difficult to make an impact.
I think the commentator was annoying me. He just kept going on about how tall he was. Like, all right.
They love that, don't they? They love it.
All 6'2" of him. It's like, all right. There's lots of people that are 6'2". It's fine. It's just, Oh yeah. Did I mention he's 6'2"? And then he came on. He just couldn't seem to head the ball. It's like, well, what is the point? And I mean, what is he? Slovakian or Slovenian or something like that?
Slovenian, I think, or Slovakian. Yeah, it's one of the two. But he's still young. He's got a lot of. He's a Man United fan. That's why he went there. Obviously, Newcastle were very interested, and I trust our scouts, so they must have seen something in him.
There probably is something there, and don't get me wrong. It's a bit unfair at times because you look at some players' physique, and there is a thing where you look at him, you go, well, he's tall, he's quite skinny, and he doesn't seem as if he's like particularly great. But that said, Robert Lewandowski is all of those things as well. So, it doesn't mean anything. He'll need some time before anyone realises whether he's any good or not. But
he'll need the right service as well. I think that was one of the things I noticed in the Arsenal game. For the little time that he had, they weren't really putting the ball in the box.
No. I mean, is Rasmus Højlund gone yet?
No, still there.
So again, he's another one who I think if he goes to the right right team, he'd be a great striker.
I know. I've tried to. I mean, I said no, 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 and then when everyone started rejecting us, I thought it might be time that we take a punt on him for 30 million.
Honestly,
There's a player there, but it's whether he's a player in the Premier League. I think that's the issue.
I think he could be. I think what it is that it's styles fitting clubs, and you know, Chelsea did it for ages, and now Man United seems to be doing it. When they just ruin players.
Yeah,
It's and they end up going somewhere else, and lo and behold, they're pretty good. Look at Anthony; he's gone across to Spain. He's ripping it up. They love him.
Yeah,
you know, it's. I mean, I think Garnacho would be a fool to go anywhere else in England. I think he's nothing more than a prospect at the moment. I don't see any more than that. He's got a couple of worldies, okay, but his attitude seems poor. Going on social media and putting a picture of him in another club's shirt, let alone it be a Villa shirt. But you know, that I would be looking at that as another club and being like, "We don't want you here."
No,
he just. I think he believes it's a hype.
There's a great one, McTominay as well. I mean, I said that was the worst thing Man United could have done was selling him. And I don't get me wrong, I don't rate McTominay as a fantastic player, but when I looked at that Man United side and I looked when he was in it, he had fight and he wanted to play for the shirt and he wanted to be in that team. He gave them everything and he scored goals as well. They took that out to struggle to score goals.
Yeah, of all the problems they had,
he was not it.
He was not it. The only thing I can think is he had a good agent.
I mean, look what he's done in Italy. I mean, he's they
love him. He was player of the season for Napoli. He's been put in the Ballon d'Or nominations. You know, he's a quality player. I think he's the first Scottish player to go in the Ballon d'Or nomination since Kenny Dalglish.
Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me, to be fair. Again, this isn't a game that's littered with goals. 1-1 in the FA Cup. Man United beat them 1-0, and I watched that game. It was horrible, and Bruno Fernandes scored the winner when the keeper slipped it through his hands. And Man United also beat them at Old Trafford 1-0 in August 2024. Stats are terrible for Fulham. Fulham have won just one of their last 19 Premier League games against Manchester United, drawn 3, losing 15, beating them 2-1 at Old Trafford in February 2024. I remember that. I expected them to beat them that day as well. Manchester United have won each of their last 8 Premier League away games against Fulham. They've never won 9 in a row against an opponent in their league history, so they could make history tomorrow if they beat Fulham, which is it's an interesting fixture. I mean, there's not a lot of goals. I think that could change a little bit. What have you gone with for the scoreline for this one?
I think it'll be 3-1 United.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. We are very different for a change. I've gone 2-1 Fulham.
Really? I just think
United, I think I'm still on the old shitty Man United, and I've not given them enough credit for their performance against Arsenal.
It is perfectly plausible, but I just think I think some hope will be taken from that Arsenal game, and I think that they will need to kick on sooner rather than later. Ruben Amorim, he seems like a good manager to me. I think he knows how to sort a lot of that problem out, and I think he will do. I
just think this won't be the season for me. I think they've gone top heavy and they forgot about the defence and the keeper. Yeah,
they've not actually sorted out any of the problems they needed to.
Well, scoring goals was a problem last season as well. I mean, Bruno Fernandes really kept them in the league last year.
Scoring goals will like that, though. You know, even I know it sounds mad, but like, even if you do have problems at the back, if you're scoring goals still, then ultimately. I mean, it's risky.
Yeah.
You know, if you get a few.
Keegan lived off that, didn't he?
He weren't the only one, to be fair. I mean,
true.
Obviously, I've seen this is Tottenham.
Very true. Again, I guess if they start scoring 2-3 goals a game, it gives that defense the confidence. If they do make a mistake, they're still going to be in the game because they are actually have the ability to score goals now. So
there are players there. There's no one there that I'd be like, they're rubbish. There's players there.
I agree with that.
It seems to be more about morale. It seems to be more psychological than it is physical. And I think this Amaram could sort that out.
Yeah, potentially. I've gone 2-1. You've gone 3-1, Man United. Last game, Monday night, under the lights, St James's Park.
Yeah.
Newcastle were feeling grieved that they didn't beat Villa just because of the amount of shots and possession, and the game seemed to be going our way. But again, the spotlight's going to be on the Rat. Let's face it. Well, Sky Sports will have the spotlight on the Rat. The fans in the ground, we won't make it about Isak. I just hope they make it a cauldron and make it difficult for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Who coming to St James's Park have a fantastic record, and there's no doubt in that. They pretty much beat us all the time, apart from when it really matters at Wembley in a cup final. Just thought I'd get that dig in while I can.
Yeah.
So, for example, we played 165 times. We've only won 43. They've won 81. There's been 41 draws. Newcastle have gone 17 Premier League matches without a win against Liverpool. It just shows you what we're up against. Drawn 5, lost 12 since winning 2-0 back in December 2015. And I remember that game because it was Steve McLaren and it was Andy Carroll scored. And I think Papa Cisse scored the first goal, if I remember rightly. And that might have been mixing two games up. But I remember beating 2. I remember Andy Carroll scoring the winner. And I think that was the last time we saw Andy Carroll because he got sold to Liverpool. Liverpool are formed for taking our strikers.
2015, because
10 years ago.
Yeah, funny enough, this a stat came up about this the other day because it listed like all the managers. So basically, all the managers that started the Premier League season in 2015, 10 years ago, and one of them is still around today in the Premier League. And I couldn't for the life of me think who it was. It caught me out.
10 years ago.
And I also completely forgot that Steve McLaren was at Newcastle.
He was there for one season and it was absolutely shocking.
10 years ago. So I immediately was like, well, it must be Pep. It's not Pep. It's Pep's
Pep.
Yes.
It's Eddie Howe.
Yep.
Yeah. Bournemouth.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was David Moyes, but no, it's Eddie Howe.
Yeah. Woo! I got one right.
There you go. I'm stuck to that man.
There we go. Liverpool have won 5 of the last 7 away Premier League games against Newcastle, drawn 2, and I've gone 1-0 down each of the last 2 visits to James's Park, and they keep frigging bouncing back. We should have beat them frigging 2 seasons ago. 3-3 last year was a great point for us because we were in a bit of a dodgy spell. And we had a poor start to the season. Everyone's like, "Oh, Liverpool are going to come and hammer us at St James's Park," and we both went hammering tongs at each other. And Shaw got the equaliser. It was a great game under the lights, and I'm expecting a good game again. But this Isak saga, it just keeps on going on and on and on, and I'm sick of talking about it. But it's going to be all over the headlines, isn't it? But
it's going to play a role, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't impressed with Liverpool against Bournemouth, especially defensively.
No, they nearly gave a game away that they should have won easily.
Yeah, and I mean, they should have been losing at one point. When the pullback came to the penalty spot and he hit it straight at the keeper, I thought that was a massive chance. If that had gone in, I think there might have been a shock on the cards. But because they went 2-0 up, and Bournemouth used a lot of energy to get back into the game, and then Liverpool capitalised with their strength off the bench.
I think at Anfield they have the ability to do that.
Yeah, they do.
There's very much seems to be you score 3, we'll score 4.
Mentality, don't they? That's a winning mentality, though, isn't it? That's the thing.
They are not at Anfield this week.
No, they're not. They're at St James's Park. Do you know, if we had a striker, just any striker, I would have fancied just potentially causing maybe a draw or a win.
I think we win.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Wow, what scoreline you going with?
I think it's going to play a part. I think the whole drama and the way that it's funny how football repeats itself over the years.
You're right.
And I think it's going to be one of them things where Newcastle are just going to go hell for fucking leather. And
I hope you're right.
It's going to be such a high morale. I think that ground is going to be absolutely rocking. And if you go 1-0 up, you will frighten the shit out of them.
Yeah. We have to. We have to score first, because if we don't score first, I think there'll be a lot of groans in the crowd. It will be like, right, well, they've scored first. We don't really have a striker. How are we going to get back into the game? It'll be that kind of like anxiety going around the negative energy from the crowd. And I think Liverpool will probably win it comfortably if that happens. If we go 1, then 2, I'll be thinking, whoa, we've got a point here. It's never 3 points. It's always, we should hold on for a point now. And I said that against Man City, and then we ended up getting beat 3-2.
Kevin Keegan thinking.
Yeah, exactly. We've got a point.
I think you'll beat them 2-1.
Wow.
I think it'll be a lot like a cup final. I think you'll go 2-0 up, and then they'll score with like 20 minutes to go or something. And it's
make it itchy. Squeaky bum time.
Absolute, yeah. People going to be gripping their seats and not with their hands.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I've actually gone the other way. I have actually gone for my head's ruling my heart, and I've gone for a 3-1 Liverpool win. Okay. I don't think it'll be as comfortable as the scoreline sounds. I think it'll be like, they score, we equalise, we push to try and win the game. Liverpool score to go 2-1 up. We then push to try and get the equaliser. Liverpool hit us on the break again, and
I think it could be a bad tempered game.
It could be. I think it all depends on Joe Linton. If he gets an early yellow card, then I'm going to be worried.
Yeah, I just think there's some genuine bad blood here. It's this whole thing that's rumbled on in this transfer window. There seems to be something very personal about it.
Yes.
Liverpool have very much depicted Newcastle as a potential future.
Yeah.
Right. Which
and the horrible thing is, a lot of people are saying this now after Teki went to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Have Liverpool upset Isaac to throw Newcastle off a good start to the season?
Well, you'd think they'd have more things to worry about, but I just don't know. See, this is the thing, is that, and this is why I think Isaac will stay at the club, and this is why I think he will be back in the middle of the season somewhere. He will feature, and Eddie Howe's left that door open. He's very clear about that. But Liverpool don't need him.
They don't, do they? They need defence.
Newcastle don't need to sell him. The player needs to play.
Good World Cup, yeah.
Newcastle are going to be aware of that, because you don't want to depreciate your asset.
Yeah.
So they are not going to want the player to be. Really, what they want the player to do right now is to just shut up. Just stop talking. Like, you're not being handcuffed to the club. This is us going, no, they haven't met our evaluation.
Yeah.
This is the same as any form of business. I mean, you can sulk about it, but you may very well, if you push this too far, you're going to end up not playing for a whole season and very possibly not going to a World Cup because of it. Yeah. And also, you'll have a year with no football. So how attractive of a player are you to sign after that?
Yeah. I mean, why would Liverpool want to buy him the way that he's acting? Because you could just do this to them 2 years' time when Real Madrid or Barcelona come knocking.
And this is the thing. This is why it's a very strange approach for a player to take. We've seen it with other players. We have. but it never normally works out great.
No.
It doesn't. There's always a tinge of, well, this guy's a bit of a charlatan, you know. And this is a difficult question to ask because obviously there's going to be a lot of feeling attached to it, but is he that good to be acting like this?
That's a good question. But I would say he's top 3 strikers in the world at the moment.
You reckon?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
See, I think he's just short of acting like this.
But I don't think any player should act like this regardless. I don't think anyone's good enough to do, even and Mbappe is not good enough to do this.
But you know what I mean? With like this,
I do.
Produce it so much where you just go, "What does that do?"
I mean, you look at our goals. He scored 21 goals last season for us. The next closest was 11, I think.
Yeah, which in the Premier League is very good.
Yeah,
I just think that you get agents in the ear. You get, you know, and the agents is quite a bad one because they will be like, no, they've got to meet your evaluation. If they don't do that, they're not paying you any respect, blah, 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 so forth. It depends what the player believes. And this is another problem. Is that, you know, this is their job. You know, this is, and
they're not fans, are they? That's the thing.
They only have a finite amount of time in this particular job. They earn lots of money or not doesn't really make any difference as to their career aspirations. Now, if he wants to be a well-remembered top star, this is not the way to do it.
No.
He would be better off eating some humble pie, putting out some sorry messages and heat of, you know, emotion, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Get picked back to the Newcastle side.
Sack his agent. He's got to sack his agent as well.
Sack his agent, you know, but I mean, get back in the Newcastle side, which wouldn't be hard to do. You know, score a couple of goals, take a couple of games of people booing, and after that, he'll be gone. And then at the end of the season, go where you want.
Right. I mean, I've said if he comes back into the team and starts scoring goals, I'll celebrate a goal, but I think we all should turn our back on him and celebrate.
Yeah, you won't know.
I would if I was at the game. I'd turn my back and celebrate with the fans. You know, a bit like when the Man City fans do it together. They jump up and down, facing the other way.
I get it. The problem is, it's a job for these people. They're never going to take it as personally as it being your own club.
But what they've got to remember as well is like people like us, we go to work. We can't just demand we're going to go somewhere else and go on strike because we want more money. It doesn't work like that. This is the only industry in sports. If there's not many, well, I suppose rugby or that, but mainly football. It's the only sport you see like high earning players act this way. Now, no one forced him to sign a 6-year contract.
Yeah.
No one forced him to sign it for the amount of money that he was getting. I think it was 120 grand a week. If his agent thought he was going to be this good and Liverpool were going to be interested in him 3 years down the line, why didn't you put a release clause in? Well, we took a risk on him. I mean, his stats were okay in Spain. He had one good season. He scored something like 11 goals the first season, 13 the second season. Then he scored 6 the season before we bought him.
In the world alight.
Exactly. So he comes to Newcastle, works under Eddie Howe. We turn him into the player. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a lot of the reason why he turned into the player he is because of his determination, his training. He's listened. He's adapted. He's become a phenomenal player. But we also took that chance on him.
Yeah.
And Eddie Howe put all that work into him. And Eddie Howe, I can tell he's absolutely devastated. This has happened because he likes to have that family feel around his club and around his players. He knows the wives, the girlfriends, the kids' names, everything. So he feels like one of his sons has really let him down here. This is like a Jewish son I'm watching a TV program at the moment, a comedy. It's really funny where a Jewish guy's now dating a girl who's not within the same community. That's what it feels like to Eddie Howe. He's having the dirty done on him by his son.
Yeah, I get that, but I just think that this is an opportunity for Newcastle to draw a line in the sand and make it that essentially this is the opportunity to go, right, no more players are doing this. And if you draw that line in the sand and go, we are not selling you. Like you can do whatever you like, you can go on strike, we'll stick you in reserves, blah blah blah. We will cut our nose off to spite our face because we don't want somebody else doing this again. Yeah. And I think with the aspirations that Newcastle's owners have, I think that is what's going to happen. And then it's down to Isak to basically come back with his begging bowl.
Yeah,
I don't think there's just no. I cannot see Liverpool buying him.
I mean, Liverpool, why would they want to? I mean, I have heard a rumour that they're going to come back in with a bid that's just under 150, but will probably be accepted because, let's face it, Newcastle are in a lose-lose situation here.
We are, because the problem is you won't have time to replace him with somebody that's good. And also, even if you did have someone that you wanted to replace him with, everybody knows that you've just gained that money.
Yeah, exactly.
You charge those odds. So that for me, that just fuels they're not going to sell him. I think this has now become about pride and it's become about professionalism. Yeah. And I think that's why it's going to, because the players would want him back. They want to be a better side. They don't,
I think some of the players will find it hard to chew the situation, but I think some players will think, like you're thinking, top 3 striker in the world coming back into our starting 11. That is fantastic. But I think the likes of Dan Burn, being a local lad, he might struggle to accept it a little bit.
Maybe, but being one of the few, I think he could probably be talked around by the likes of Eddie Howe to go, look, he's good for our team. He's not going to be here past next year. This is just how it's going to be.
Well, I mean, that's what I would like to see him do. Sign a new contract, bumper pay, put a release clause in it for next summer. If we don't qualify for the Champions League, you can move to any club. And next summer, this is why I'm really peeved off with the situation and the timing of it. Next summer, you've got Barcelona, Bayern Munich, PSG probably looking for a striker as well. You'll have a lot of top clubs knocking at your door where your wages and offers are going to be unbelievable. So why throw your toys out the pram when Ekitike was your replacement and Liverpool have bought him to piss us off, and now we can't sell you to that team because they've got our player that we really wanted. And Isak can sit there and say, well, I want to go. We've tried to replace him.
If you weren't in the Champions League, I would kind of sort of understand. I wouldn't like it still, but I'd sort of understand. But you are, so this doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
Why he wants to go to Liverpool so much?
Yeah,
I think it's just all turned into a bit of a shit show.
Yeah, and like I say, we really are in a rock and a hard place because I want the club to make an example of him. And I've seen people talk about, send him to the reserve for 3 years and ruin his career and all that sort of stuff. That doesn't help Newcastle United. We've got to do what's best for our football club. Yeah. Now, we've got a player who's worth a lot of money sitting there, potentially doing nothing for 3 years when we've got PSR problems and we're trying to buy players that potentially we can't afford unless we sell players. There's the rock and the hard place. Isak becomes a generational player in the wrong way for us, but also in the right way, because if we sell him, it frees up that PSR issue.
It does.
So, and that allows us to go and spend that money on potentially bringing 3 players in rather than keeping one bad egg.
But probably until January.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, we still haven't replaced Wilson, and he left on the 7th of July. That is ridiculous of a football club who wants aspirations of being the number one. We should have acted so quickly because we knew that was going to happen. We should have had that deal done for his replacement within the first week of the transfer window opening.
I'm surprised he let him go. He's youthful.
Well, we offered him a contract, but it was only a 1-year extension, and he wanted 2 years, and he was never going to get it, and that's why he went to West Ham, because he got what he wanted. So he's thinking of himself, which you can't blame. But I bet you he's sitting at West Ham now, looking at us and going, "I could have been playing against Villa. I could have been a hero and scored the winner.
He would have been
playing against Liverpool. I could score against Liverpool and be a hero." Do you know what I mean? So. Yeah. It's the grass is never always greener. Money's not always the be all to end all, but that's the situation we're in. I've gone for a 3-1 loss. You've gone for a 2-1 win. We'll be back next weekend because I am off next Saturday. So we'll work out a time where we can get everyone on. We'll go through our results and see how well we did. So I hope you've got them written down somewhere. I've got mine saved on Twitter. But it's been a pleasure, Sean, doing this and talking about football. It's great. It's back. Absolutely love it. And good luck today. I can't see us getting anything on Monday, but hey, you never know. But thanks to the chat as well for joining in. Thank you, everyone who makes a comment. Don't forget to super like, I think it is these days, or whatever it is. And we'll see you again on Sunday night, where I've got a special guest called Beth, who works for some big companies in Liverpool, covering Liverpool stories. So that's going to be interesting to get her views on the game on Monday. So take care till then, everyone. Ta-da.
Go again.